All right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. A lot to dive into and discuss in today's video, as we're not only talking about some roster updates, some roster news, we're also talking about, sadly, rosters being let go. We've also got to talk about the future of this esport and some news that we are getting out of it as well. So once again, a lot to dive into and discuss. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date with all things going on inside of the world of ALGS. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. First off, wanted to make mention of Oversight Esports Pro Series Block 1 winner, Group B versus D. It is the good old Legacy. And I gotta say, I want to tie them back into the story later on in this episode, and I'm very excited for what that case is going to be. So, of course, the actual overall standings you had from this, once again, missing a team, and TYK also with 0 points. But Legacy in first, Aurora in second, Cloud9 in third, Northeption in fourth, SSG in fifth. And overall, all around the board, you had some, some in and outs, some teams that are not playing as normal as they usually would. Charlie's Angels, obviously, Moist Esports in the 11th, probably not where I would normally put them. But nonetheless, you've got the mix of all the squads. Then you've also got A versus C. This is Block 2, and it had Luminosity as the winner. And, of course, Luminosity is a good, solid team, but we really haven't seen as much of dominance out of them that I think we used to. So I'm excited to see those guys back, and hopefully we'll really see. I really want to see Sweet kind of get back in that conversation with Hal again. When they used to do all the videos and it was all about Sweet versus Hal. Now it's kind of Zero versus Hal, and I would really like to see Sweet get back up in the mix there. So hopefully they can, just in general, as we approach LAN, I'm really hoping to see a good Luminosity LAN performance there. But this one, you had Oxygen Esports, Furia in the top 3 as well. 2 Rats, 1 Controller, and TSM in top 5. And once again, missing another player. Unfortunate for 07 here down at the bottom. But also wanted to make mention, you have some crazy news coming out of the Esports World Cup. Of course, we did cover this already. The Esports World Cup is going to be coming into Apex Legends, but we now know the prize pools that's going to be taking place. So they announced it is a $60 million plus prize pool for the ESWC. That's the Esports World Cup. So that's not just Apex Legends specifically, of course, but the club championship, $20 million, game championships, $30 million plus, qualifiers, $7.6 million, and MVP awards, $1.1 million. That's crazy to think that just from MVPs alone, you're going to get millions of dollars involved. So imagine the person that wins the tournament, gets MVP of the tournament, and through the qualifiers as well. Someone is really about to cash out on this tournament, whoever does. Just solid overall, man. I'm very excited to see how this stuff goes down. But obviously some really good news. Of course, Jake Lucky also reported on this, but teams can have players. Listen to this. This is where things get a little weird. It is an Esports World Cup. The format will not be a World Cup format. Teams can have players from any nation. So it is basically going to be more along the lines of just a big esports event and not necessarily a World Cup. But I guess you could take a look at TSM being a North American team, and maybe you want to put some regional pride there if you want, but it's just really not like that, unfortunately. And I really kind of was hoping it would, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, also wanted to mention some roster news, roster updates, and some speculation along this as well. So we did post earlier that Snip3down had officially been removed from the FaZe clan spot for ALGS. Snip3down gave his spot to his former teammates after their split, and speculation begins about his next move along with his former teammates. And here is what happened. So of course, we did do an article on this entire thing, and there is an ALGS transaction tab that they now have on their official website, and basically it kind of shows a lot of the roster changes or maybe team name changes, things that are going on, the activity that's happening on Battlefy that sometimes gets missed. Well, Snip3down was on there today as being removed from the FaZe team. And of course, this is important because FaZe is being relegated from Pro League, and so they're going to be going into the Pro League qualifier as a team with a bypass. So once again, just to explain from last video, the bottom 8 teams from Pro League this season are automatically going to be getting a bye into the Pro League qualifiers. And then the top 2 teams from Challenger Circuit are also getting a bye, but then the bottom 20 teams from Challenger Circuit will start off in round 1. So everybody else starts in round 2. The bottom 20 teams from Challenger will start in round 1. So Snip3down is not going to be a part of that FaZe team. It seems he basically told me as well that he's going to keep his head down and just prep as much as he can to become a better individual player in the off season. So obviously we really hope to see him back here, but he said, I gave Zara you know, the use for the Pro League spot, so I can remain on the roster. Now, it seems like it's very possible, of course, Zera and Panders could stick together. They're just kind of exploring options, but who knows what those options may be. It may be org options, it may be new teammate options. You know, Zera may leave to go elsewhere. Maybe him and Panders stick it out. Who knows what's going to happen at the end of the day. But honestly, really excited that Snipe is really dedicated to trying to make himself a better player, especially during the off season here. And I really do hope the best for him. I hope we see him back. Obviously, he's a big name, and a lot of people are behind Snipe, and I would really like to see not, you know, him and Albrelelli, honestly, both of them, and multiple others as well, not be in Challenger Circuit, not be in PSQs or whatever. I want to see them in the limelight. I want to see them going up against everybody, but it's starting to become very, very saturated. A lot of good players are getting involved, and at the end of the day, someone has got to be upset. Someone has got to miss out. And so that's where we have FaZe currently. Now, there's also a lot of speculation out there, especially on the comment section of that tweet, that you might have a situation where FaZe does end up picking up Team Legacy. You know, if they're having, you know, being one of the partnered organizations here, you would think that Optic Gaming and FaZe both want to be at LAN, being a partnered organization, but maybe it doesn't happen, right? Maybe it doesn't go in that direction. But I think a lot of people are expecting with FaZe not only, you know, not even making it back to Pro League next year because they sadly did that poor inside of the Pro League Split 1. They may look to pick up a new roster entirely, and that roster could very well be Legacy, being that they're going to land their North American team and they're unsigned as well. And we know that Legacy apparently recently got signed after some contracts being posted as well. So who knows what's really going to happen. I don't think that Optic Gaming is going to be one of those teams that do that, but FaZe would make a lot more sense. But we don't really know exactly what's going to happen. And by the way, FaZe, just because they're FaZe doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually FaZe. You know, they're just kind of using this FaZe spot. So FaZe can technically turn into a different name, and that spot still belongs to Zera and Co. So don't get too tripped up behind the name. The ALGS Battlefy system works very, very strangely and mysteriously, but that's the news going on with the FaZe roster right now. Also wanted to make mention, sadly, the news from Pulverex comes out as well. This is honestly not too big of a surprise. I think Pulverex was, you know, they didn't really go as according to plan. You know, it was a team that we all loved. It was a team that we definitely got behind. The fans really enjoyed, but they didn't get the result that we were looking for. They sadly missed out on LAN as well, and this is not normal for FJohn to be not in LAN at all. So they did post earlier as of April the 30th. So obviously this is still yet to happen. Their contracts are coming up for renewal, and they're not going to renew, but the 3 members will be graduating from the team, and as a result, the 3 players will become free agents. Despite the various conflicts and pressures that became with the new system, I'm truly grateful to the 3 of you in Split 1 for working so hard. We look forward to your continued success in the future, and please continue to support the 3 of them. Sadly, Pulverex is obviously going to be parting ways with their roster. That's Levetti and Hammer Drill and FJohn as well. So very good, talented roster. Sadly, couldn't put it together. Interested to see where you guys think they're going to land in this next upcoming Pro League. And let me know what you guys are thinking about all the topics mentioned in today's video down in the comment section below. Of course, like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things going on inside of the world of Apex Legends esports news. Until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.